let's talk about movies that three of us have seen, unfortunately.
All right, and Mike, I want to start off with Stranded, and I want you to go first.
Oh, dear God. Okay. Now, I decided that I'm going to start. I started actually writing notes here.
Bullet points, great.
All right. And so I have a written review, and then on the back of my cards, I are speaking points.
Okay.
So, written review. This was a terrible movie. And by terrible, I mean Christian Slater was the high point because he wasn't his usual whiny self. The Jack Nicholson light that he normally is. Using not only plot points from Alien, but the original sets too, the low budget of this film is painfully apparent throughout. Hell, they couldn't even afford to turn the lights on for 90% of the film because they couldn't pay the electric bill. Their fancy communicators / diary things are bookmark lights that I saw at the dollar store last week. The flashlights are from Home Depot's bargain bin at Christmas time. You know, the ones that are 3 for $1. This is just one of those movies that you need to either be drunk and or high in order to get through beginning to end. Otherwise, it's just completely painful to watch. The acting is terrible. I can't do it. So, a couple of things I noted here. The keypads for all the doors they couldn't even get old iPhones. They were just iPhone cases that they printed out inserts for to make them look like keypads. There's one part, now it's a sci-fi movie, and a lot of these sci-fi movies, you kind of want to pick apart the science behind everything. Well, there's one part where one of the dudes explodes when they open an airlock instead of him just being sucked out into space. I guess because they needed to have the effect of just him blowing up or having somebody blow up. Probably because they couldn't afford the green screen to have him float. And the ending, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but the ending was absolutely the most pathetic ending of a movie ever. And I don't know why, if the ending was written because they thought they were going to get a sequel out of this, apparently half the budget was spent on crack. I cannot. This film has one of the dubious honors of being one of a dozen that I have rated with 1 star on Netflix. And that's got to tell you something because I've rated almost 3,000 movies on Netflix.
Yeah. All right. So, Colin, I'll let you talk next.
Okay. I despised this movie. I mean, okay, so here's the thing that I cannot stand. I cannot stand stupidity. I can't stand it in real life. I certainly cannot stand it when I'm watching something that's supposed to be entertaining. And it seems like there was a writing prompt for this thing, and it's just the laziest thing ever to say, how does something go wrong? Oh, I know. The characters are morons. And that seems to be point after point after point. Every single time that there is a point where something go wrong with these characters, they are morons. And after a year, I say this is 2013. So I'll give them the benefit of they were before The Martian. But after watching a movie like The Martian that showed how actual astronauts really are, actual astronauts are not morons.
No, very intelligent.
And morons, I mean, we're going to spend that much money to send someone up into space. They're not going to be these people. But the one that really started me off, their original problem. Well, first off, I was kind of thinking that Stranded was going to be kind of like like I said, The Martian proved that you don't need an alien.
Yeah. Oh, very, very well.
All you really need is stranded on the moon.
Solitude is the worst disaster you can have.
Yes.
We proved it with Castaway.
Yep.
We proved it with The Martian. You know, time and time again, I think you can see that.
But what is the one deadly gas that is usually not an issue when you are in space?
Carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide. Where is the carbon monoxide coming from that they are so afraid of? That is, I mean, what were they burning? Were they having problems with their wood burning stove on the moon? Was that what the cause of the carbon monoxide was? It's just you just going dioxide, carbon dioxide. That is an issue. Carbon monoxide is never an issue unless you are burning something.
Well, he did have a lot of fires.
That and it's just the total and utter lack of. Apparently, they had anti-gravity. I mean, just.
Yeah, I didn't even catch on that one. That they had this huge disaster and they couldn't afford the lights, but the gravity generator apparently still worked.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't even catch on to that one.
I just
So
there is no aspect of that movie any redeeming value whatsoever.
okay, here's my review of the movie. All right, if you have a 7 or 8 year old who is frightened of things popping out, all right, and unknown things creeping from dark places, and you know that kind of stuff, this is not the movie to show them. And how do I know that? Because I did not watch more than 45 minutes of the movie because I did not like the scary stuff, even though it was bad. I decided I want to sleep tonight. I will turn it off. I admit the acting was abysmal. That is the best word for it. Christian Slater, what in God's name has happened to you? Gleaming the Cube. All right. Pump up the volume. Heathers. Where is your quality of work?
I will even go so far as to say I enjoyed what was the show called? Breaking In? That only lasted 2 seasons on Fox.
I don't know. I never saw it.
All right, I will even.
He is in an extremely acclaimed show.
Yes.
Right now, Mr. Robot.
That's
and
true.
you should grab onto that and hold on to it with every finger straining.
Yes. You know, I know Hollywood's tough, but you don't have to lower yourself and take every script that comes your way. This one you should have just said no to. Listen to Nancy Reagan. All right?
You do not need to be Nicolas Cage.
The only thing I can think of is he must have lost a bet.
He had to have. Because, honestly, his acting was only subpar even in this film. All right? But he was the best actor by far. If the Oscars only included this film, he would win every category, even Best Supporting Female Actress. All right? Because he was the best.
Yeah.
All right. I made it to the point, I will tell you exactly how far into the movie I made it. I made it to the point where the guy had been bitten on the leg in the infirmary after she had given birth to the alien. All right, and the doctor wanted to cover everything up. Why? I don't know. But the doctor just wanted to keep hiding everything.
I stopped watching after she hurt herself on the broken test tube and was groaning in the hallway, and I just couldn't take it anymore.
Well, at that point, I didn't realize that stop watching was an option.
Well,
because I watched all the way to the end.
I would never normally stop watching. I would watch it no matter how bad it got. All right, I would normally never stop watching, but in this case, I'm like, this is, even though it's bad, even though it's really really bad, it will bother me because I am a big wuss. I will admit it. I'm a huge wuss. I don't normally do films like that.
I have no problem with the wussiness. I cannot overemphasize how much of a visceral reaction I have to stupidity.
I noticed all the stupid things that you guys brought up. All right, I noticed all that stuff, and what killed me even more was we're putting her in quarantine. Let me know when you need to get in there. I'll unlock it. Let me know when you need to get in there. I'll unlock. That's not quarantine. All right.
Oh, I put the asteroid with the spores into this quarantine box, except for this other piece of it I have in a petri dish.
Yeah. Mike, this is not scientific principle.
No.
All right.
Okay, so
sorry, Mike. Yes.
Interest of
You can
time,
bail
I
out.
guess. Okay, but in the interest of time, I think it's clear that nobody should watch this movie ever.
No.
This is not a watchable movie.
Netflix, I'm ashamed at you for having this movie.
This movie cannot even be made better with the riff tracks treatment.
So, bad movie. Bad movie.
I would rather watch Manos without the MST3K on it than watch Stranded again.
Now, let's go through, and I will admit I did bad. I did not write up my review. But let's go to the other one, which I think had redeeming qualities.
I enjoyed it.
MegaShark versus MechaShark. All right. Now, this one, I'll gladly go first on this one.
Yes.
This is just because this movie had things that I like in it in a bad movie. Now, granted, this is an asylum movie.
Yes.
All right. So you're gonna know it's gonna be cheesy. It's gonna be stupid. Some parts aren't gonna make sense. It's gonna be over the top. The CGI is gonna be horrible. All right. You have to go in there knowing all this stuff. All right. But I liked the characters. All right. Especially Christopher Judge. Liked him in this movie. Teal'c does a great job.
Yes.
All right. And I did not know that was Debbie Gibson at first, because it doesn't look like Debbie Gibson. And yes, I'm talking about the Debbie Gibson.
Excuse me, Deborah.
Well, she will be Debbie Gibson for as long as I know her. So, she was good. All that. I liked this movie. What I didn't like, however, was that I think it could have used, in my mind, another 45 minutes. 45 more minutes to explain the MechaShark program and how they built it and what all its capabilities are, especially the prototype. We didn't see hardly any of it, and I really wanted that to be shown more. Not to mention the fact that the cover photo and some of the trailer photos and stuff like that has the MechaShark, firing a laser beam out of his mouth, and that is nowhere in the movie. All right. But otherwise, I like this movie. The one thing the only thing that got me, because I'm like, we're watching like the third in a trilogy. This is a problem, because all throughout the show it goes all during the show, all the characters go, another MegaShark has been spotted. Mm-hmm. That's not another MegaShark sighting. That's another MegaShark has been spotted, which made me look for other MegaShark movies, because I thought there had to have been more leading up to this. This has to be like the third time, like Sharknado 3. No, there are no other MegaShark movies.
Yeah, there are.
Yes, there are.
This is the third movie.
I didn't see anything in the. I didn't see any.
Yeah, MegaShark versus the octopus, and there's a fourth one too.
Is there?
Yeah.
I need to find those now. So.
Let me look at that.
But I felt like I was missing something, and evidently my inner thing was right.
There is MegaShark versus Giant Octopus, MegaShark versus Crocosaurus.
Is that all the same movie though? Is it
MegaShark versus MechaShark, and apparently there's MegaShark versus Colossus,
which is the newest one, which is not on Netflix. And Debbie Gibson's character came from the first movie.
Oh, okay.
That's why she was there.
Okay. Well, I'm now I want to search out and find all these others, but
Right, and if you had seen that, you would have understood why the sharks were suddenly flying through the air at
Airplanes?
Airplanes, because that happened a lot in the previous.
I
movies.
didn't think that a shark could fly out at 10,000 feet, but
Now,
evidently
see,
they can.
I knew that there were other ones before because I had seen them in Netflix, but I wasn't aware that it was actually a trilogy. I just saw it as a kind of a theme. I didn't know they actually flowed, but no, that's good to know. If I had known that, then I would have suggested that we started with MegaShark versus Giant Octopus. But
I haven't seen the other two. I think it was a good thing starting with this one.
You may be right.
Because I'm sure the others didn't have elements of, wow, it's like I'm watching Knight Rider with a shark submarine.
Now, the guy that did the voice for what's his name? Yeah, the MegaShark.
Yeah,
wasn't he like a butler on some 80s TV show or something?
No. He
was. I think he was doing an impression.
Okay, because it was very. It sounded very familiar.
I thought so too, and I looked it up, and when I was watching it, and it wasn't any name that I recognized.
I kind of wonder if he isn't like. Oh, just a second.
He does more voice work, it seems, but
okay.
Yeah.
But I could have just sworn that it was a very familiar voice. Paul Anderson is the guy's name, and he played the voice of Nero. And looks like he does a lot of voice work, basically. So I haven't seen him in anything. Okay. That's weird.
But like I said, I think he was doing an impression of like the guy who did Knight Rider.
Yeah, I guess, kind of. But anyway, so, all right, so your turn, Colin. Go ahead.
Oh, I liked it very much. I couldn't do a funny review like I did last time because you can't do that to an Asylum movie because it already is ridiculous. All I could do was like try to do a straight review, but even that's too ridiculous. So I will point out the parts of it that I didn't like. Like there was some stupidity, but not too much stupidity. Like just let the little girl die. She just
yeah.
That was one of my speaking points. Is of course lost little girl during the evacuation. How cliche.
Well, not just lost, but hiding from everybody. It's just anyway. Why does the giant shark only have one seat in it? And if no one is actually piloting, why isn't anybody sitting in there anyway? Why blow up the MechaShark after you just got control of it again? Those are all elements that I had the question.
Yeah.
Now, see, I noticed stupid little things like the reporter who keeps trying to interview people for the TV story. Like,
I think I know what you're going to say, but I'll let you say it.
This is her microphone, and you can actually see the XLR connection on the bottom while she's speaking.
That's what I thought all the time. I'm like, well, it's supposed to be a wireless mic, but it's obviously a wired mic.
And I tried to screen cap it from Netflix so that I could give you a picture to put up while we were speaking to this. But unfortunately, screen capping from Netflix just don't work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it was, it was so bad. That made me that really irritated me every time they shot to her, and she had that wired microphone with nothing plugged in, and she goes, "Back to you in the studio."
But I also noticed that the camera the guy is holding has the big microphone with the windsock on it, and I'm like, well, wait a second. If you've ever seen any other movie, the camera guy doesn't have a microphone on his camera.
Yeah.
So
it's beside the point. That is not a broadcasting camera. So I figured that they were just two very delusional people running around pretending to be news people.
well, yeah, that
How
could
much?
work.
But you only ever see her from like the waist up most of the time. All right. How much would it have taken for somebody to say, "Okay, hold on, click. All right, I'm going to plug a line in there and just run it back to behind your cameraman. They'll think it's plugged in, no problem." You know?
Or even just get a cheap little tent
Yeah.
put on there to show, like with the fake station logo. You know,
Yeah.
ANN, Asylum News Network, which is typical in a lot of their movies. But
I love we don't have enough money to pay for believable looking military insignia. So instead, we're just going to have the camera sitting on the ground looking up at somebody's head, carefully cropping out anything but his head.
well, let's take it one step further. That they're on a naval vessel. That nobody is wearing the same camouflage, same uniform, nothing. Tops and bottoms don't even match. So for this point, the Asylum kind of let me down, because usually they're a little better with details like that, or they figure out a way to play it off.
And he had two 30-ish-year-old, mid 30-year-old pilots being ordered what to do by a 12-year-old officer.
Wow.
And I was like, that guy must be someone's son, because that's the only reason why he was cast instead of the two people he's telling what to do.
All in all, though, decent movie.
Oh, it was enjoyable.
You know,
Okay,
it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Allow me
totally
to read
different,
my prepared review here.
Yes.
When I see a movie is by the Asylum, my expectation level is set to medium low. After all, they're responsible for Sharknado, and that's kind of what they're known for. That and Z Nation, I think, is what they're known for now. So you expect poor CGI, bad puns, and a semi-believable storyline. This basically, Encino Man meets Pacific Rim meets Sharknado meets Jungle Fever. This falls right in line with Sharknado as far as humor, don't take yourself too seriously type entertainment. And as you watch, you're going to see the Asylum pulls ideas from a bunch of other movies to really put this over the top, like Transformers, where the shark has amphibious mode that had never been spoken of until that point. 2001: A Space Odyssey, where Nero, a.k.a. Generic Hal, goes crazy. Jaws, of course, and Jungle Fever. All in all, I'd say if you're a fan of Sharknado, you're going to like this movie. I am going to go and say that I think that I agree with the general opinion. Skip the other two and go right to MechaShark. Skip Mega Octopus. Skip Ultra Croc or Uber Croc, whatever the hell it is. And let's see. So I still don't get Debbie Gibson. Now the giant shark's breaching to go after the plane. Now that makes sense, because Colin pointed out that they were doing that in the previous one. So now it makes sense. But other than that, the little girl and the XLR thing were the two things that really bothered me, in addition to the uniforms. And the fact that the boats never moved. There was no rocking on the boats. The boats were very, very calm. All right, it must be that new Navy technology. There was no.
When they were getting attacked, and then they were rattling like crazy to where you couldn't walk.
Yes.
Yes.
So, all right.
But I have to say, my biggest problem is that the MechaShark, which they spent all that time talking about how strong the jaws were, never tried to actually bite anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, could never maneuver into position to get a bite on.
They had an
MegaShark. Now
I
thought
an extraneous drinking storyline that didn't need to be put in there.
Which was barely there.
Yeah.
She never actually drank anything.
Now I thought when they breached and MegaShark went up, or MechaShark went up after MegaShark, that maybe we were going to get the bite and it was going to pull Yeah, but no. I was
No.
very disappointed with that.
I would have been happier if there had been more mecha versus mega actual fighting.
Yeah, that's what that
Yeah,
seemed to me that was lacking.
I think if somebody else could, do that concept with more money, then that might actually be interesting.
Yep.
It'd been nice if they'd given us some reason to have a mechanical shark.
Other than to fight another shark.
Okay, actually, I almost forgot this. They spent all the time talking about that the MegaShark was looking for a mate.
Yeah.
So wasn't it obvious to you guys that the point of having a mechanical shark was to trick the MegaShark into thinking it found its mate?
So you wanted the U.S. government to basically make a real doll version of a shark.
I'm not saying to get that far. I mean, you lure the shark off, you kill it. But I mean, to me, that seemed to be the only reason to have a giant mechanical shark. And
See,
all the dialogue about needing a mate.
I would have thought that's what when they realized that the Gen 2 shark was crazy or wasn't working or was out of commission, and they jumped back into Gen 1, I would have thought that was the purpose of jumping into Gen 1, was to lure off as a mate. But
see, and I thought they were going to introduce a storyline that the MegaShark was already pregnant. That it came out of the iceberg pregnant, and it was looking to basically, drop. A la Godzilla 1999, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or something.
Yeah.
It just seemed like I was reading about the screenwriter and all this research he did into it, and I'm like, he did some research, he threw it in, but he didn't actually use it for the plot, other than
Horny shark.
horny shark, mad horny shark.
Horny
I'm like,
shark.
the shark was plenty mad before.
Yeah.